learning English doesn't have to be boring. When you listen to stories, your brain naturally absorbs grammar, vocabulary, and real-life expressions, without needing to force it. That's the power of storytelling. You learn in context, with emotion and imagination, and it sticks. So if you want to upgrade your English while enjoying fun, unexpected stories from around the world, hit that like button, subscribe to Dynamic English, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single story. Now let's jump into today's story, a tale of peaceful water, accidental naps, and waking up to something completely different. This is what happened when one sleepy traveler accidentally snoozed through an entire river cruise in Amsterdam. Jack had only been in Amsterdam for one day, but his legs already felt like they had walked across half the city. He had arrived in the early morning after a long overnight train ride. Instead of resting, he had spent the day exploring canals, tasting street food, and wandering through narrow alleyways filled with bicycles and small art galleries. By late afternoon, he was exhausted. Still, there was one thing he didn't want to miss, the famous river cruise through the Amsterdam canals. Everyone said it was the best way to see the city's charm. So just after 5 in the evening, Jack bought a ticket, boarded a sleek glass-roofed boat, and found a quiet seat near the back. The boat began to move slowly through the calm water, and a soft voice came through the speakers, giving information about the buildings and bridges in both Dutch and English. It was peaceful. The sun was low in the sky, casting golden light on the old houses leaning slightly toward the canals. Jack leaned back against his seat. The gentle motion of the boat, the warm light, and the quiet hum of the tour guide's voice created the perfect atmosphere. Jack's eyes grew heavy. He told himself he was just going to close his eyes for a moment. Then everything faded. He didn't know how long he had been asleep, but when Jack opened his eyes, the boat was empty. He blinked and sat up quickly. The seats were vacant. The soft voice on the speaker was gone. Outside the glass windows, the city looked different. The sky was darker, and there was no sign of movement. The boat was no longer gliding through the water, it was parked and completely still. Jack stood up and looked around. A soft breeze came in through the slightly open doors. He realized the boat must have returned to its dock while he was still sleeping. He quickly grabbed his bag and stepped outside. The dock was quiet. There were no staff members, no other tourists, just the sound of the water lapping gently against the sides of the boat. He looked at his watch. It was already past 7. He laughed to himself. He had paid for a scenic tour of the canals, but he had spent it sleeping. The city had passed him by while he snored peacefully in the corner. Still, he didn't feel upset. As he walked away from the dock, he noticed how beautiful the city looked in the early evening. The streetlights had just turned on, casting reflections on the water. People biked by with scarves flying behind them. The smell of warm waffles drifted from a nearby stand. Jack wandered into a nearby street and found a small cafe with a view of the canal. He ordered a hot chocolate and sat by the window. Even though he had missed the tour, he realized he was still surrounded by the magic of the city. The canals were still there. The houses were still leaning. And now, he was watching it all fully awake. He thought about how sometimes, when you're too focused on doing everything, you forget to just be. He hadn't planned to fall asleep, but maybe his body had needed that moment. And maybe that nap had helped him slow down and appreciate the evening more deeply. As he sipped his drink, Jack smiled. His cruise had been silent, dreamlike, and totally personal. And even though he couldn't remember any facts from the audio guide, he felt like he had experienced something special. And now you have too. Through Jack's peaceful journey, you picked up useful English expressions like lean back against his seat, soft breeze, streetlights casting reflections, and surrounded by the magic of the city. You also experienced how to describe scenes, emotions, and gentle transitions in time. You didn't study grammar rules, but you absorbed them through context. That's what makes story-based learning so powerful. Your brain connects language to meaning, not just memory. So if you enjoyed this calm but curious story, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Dynamic English, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson disguised as an adventure. And now we want to hear from you. Have you ever fallen asleep at the wrong moment while traveling? Maybe in a museum, on a train, or even during a guided tour. Share your sleepy travel stories in the comments below. We're excited to read them.